Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the latest episode of Designated Survivor, The First Day. And overall, I really enjoyed this episode. There were just certain things, mainly dealing with the Leo character, that I really didn't like. But other than that, I thought this was really effective in setting up kind of at least how this series is going to be going in the first season, and maybe kind of setting up for kind of later stuff down the road. So, this was aptly named The First Day because this is the first day that Tom is actually acting as president and kind of figuring out what he needs to be doing. So he goes in the Oval Office. He was even warned beforehand by the former assistant chief of staff that was there. And he's kind of got like two chiefs of staffs at the moment. He hasn't even picked one. It's even gone in through the episodes like, I've got to pick one. And it's like another thing you got to do. And he's telling him this is going to be kind of more than you're used to. And he's got to deal with all these other kind of different scenarios that are going on. He's got to take care of a lot of different things, but nobody's kind of listening to him or he's giving some information, but everybody's kind of like shooting him down and just like talking over him. And he tried to get some order, but they just weren't listening. So he took his certain, report that he had gotten and kind of went out and kind of did his own thing. And I thought it was really effective to show that this is a lot more pressure than Tom is used to, and he's kind of more of a quiet person and kind of likes to think things through more, and it's just really interesting to see him kind of deal with these kind of scenarios to make him be more than that person and kind of be more decisive and more action oriented. So he's like doing his stuff in there. He's got his two kind of chiefs of staff come in and he's like setting up what he needs to do. He's like, all right, I need a cabinet, and that's a pretty big thing. Because at the moment, he's doing the work of what the whole head of the government would be doing with, like, Congress and the chiefs of staff, because they would deal with certain things as well. I mean, they would get the president's approval on certain things, but it would be channels to go through. Here, he's being bombarded with every kind of thing, and it's wearing on him. You can kind of see that. He's like, oh, God, this is, like, the first official day, and it's already kind of, like, tearing him into some pieces. So he goes to the part that he is kind of familiar with and kind of builds up to it. And it's really kind of cool, and I'm interested to see how this affects his leadership going forward. So they're going through with that. The speechwriter Seth had trouble getting into work because the police stopped him, and we learned of other reports of like Michigan where police are rounding up the Muslim community because they think that it was linked to terrorist groups, that Islamic terrorist groups. And it's like, you can kind of see the parallels of the kind of mistrust and everything that happens after these kinds of events, and how it usually either goes with you get a certain group of people that are really willing to come together and those who are ready to fear and distrust those, even though there's been no proof yet, concrete proof that anything like that has happened. You see people going after innocent people for no cause whatsoever other than their own fear. And I think that was kind of accurately conveyed in this show. So Seth's able to get in and get through and kind of get into his own groove and all that, while the people at the FBI investigating at the bomb site have kind of put together that it is the bomb and appearances and the way it's been manufactured and everything is linked to this one terrorist group that's an offshoot of Al Qaeda. And as Tom goes to the Capitol building with like a bulletproof vest and all that to kind of show solidarity and kind of get the American people some more confidence and all that, we see that Hannah's like, it looks like that, but nobody's talking about it on the usual communication channels. That's not right. What if this is supposed to be what somebody wants us to believe? The main theory that I'm thinking that something's not right. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that her husband was involved because he has not been found yet. One, and it just seems like more of an inside job. I don't know if the people involved wanted to take out all of them and leave a weak leader, or take them all out for like a power vacuum to be involved, because it looks like at least the general is not in on it at the moment. Otherwise, he would have had the best position to set up a coup d'etat in the beginning. So Tom's out there kind of doing his thing, talking to the crowd as the situation in Michigan deteriorates to more police brutality and a teen eventually being beaten and taken in the hospital and dying. So it kind of is a crazy kind of scenario, bad PR going on. And people, of course, were clamoring about talking about what's going on with this and what he's going to be doing. And it got into a kind of scary situation where they thought that somebody was going to try and take out Tom. So they rushed him off. And of course, their daughter saw it because their son, Leo, had to take a phone call, and she turned on the TV like any kid would do and saw that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I don't really have a thing against the actor playing the teen. It's just like written so cliched. I mean, I don't mind the like teen angst and everything if it's written well, but at this point it's just like you're acting like a douchey teen just to act like a douchey teen more than like you've had anything bad at home. Yeah, your dad doesn't get the stuff you're into, but he was trying, at least from the first episode. So at least to the mother coming back and pretty much telling him that he's got to grow up faster and he's got to. It's like, oh, walks off. It's like, okay, that accomplished really nothing. So we get back to kind of Tom talking about everything, and he had gotten the briefing from the FBI director, who's now the acting director because they found the original director dead within the Capitol explosion, and he's kind of thinking it over, and he's in the war room, and they're like, well, we're 75% sure that it was this group. And he's like, no, I'm not going to authorize any strike. I need higher. And then the one general's like, how much higher? 25%, 100% certainty. I'm glad that they showed that part of him being very decisive on that part, that yes, he wants to hit back, but he wants to hit back at the right people. He wants to go for justice, not vengeance. That's a very big and key characteristic to see in a leader like that, because vengeance is usually just striking out at whoever or whatever, and usually leads to you hurting yourself as well. Justice is making sure that the right punishment is fitted for the crime. So he was able to finally get a hold of the governor, who had pretty much brushed him off all before, and pretty much bluffed his way, saying that like the people that he captured, there were some Homeland Security undercover agents, and he was able to get that done. And he was able to get a hold of the governor because there was another designated survivor, Congresswoman Kimball, who I'm kind of interested to see how she's going to fit into it, because she's another one who is thrust into this situation, and we don't know kind of what she's going to be doing yet. Because there's the designated survivor for the president's cabinet being the one for the president, but what is she going to be in charge of? And we've seen that, like, Tom's more of the Democratic persuasion, she's more of the Republican persuasion, but I think that they had a nice talk and kind of bringing themselves together that, yes, this is a weird situation, but we're going to have to work together on this, because it's not you versus me anymore, or along those lines of Republican and Democrat, but us together trying to put this back together. And she helped by pretty much getting the governor of Michigan on the line and resolving that situation. And I really like the touch of Tom calling the parents of the teen and offering his condolences to that. It really shows that he's still trying to keep himself in this presidency and also be the kind of president that everybody needs to be. And it was cool seeing him also later just go incognito and thank all the first responders at the bomb site and kind of walk off. And then we saw at the end the bombshell that someone survived. So it's going to be interesting to see if that person was connected to it at all, if they saw anything, if they could give any more information about what's going on. So that's another piece of the puzzle that we're going to be getting in the next episode, I think, and it's going to really kind of amp up the situation. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.